Welcome back to another episode of TC Speech, and we got a little bit of our second special guest. We've got Nick Beattie here. He's an amazing member of our TC Legacy community. We've actually been out doing a bit of. We've met Nick a couple of times now. Usually out in the bikes. We went to the Conondale Motocross yesterday. Did a bit of a practice day. Nick's from sort of up around the North Gympie way, and he was down there, and we ended up sharing a hip camp together last night, and I had a bit of a washing the bikes up, sort of living the dream, the morning coffee with the views over the hills with the sun coming over with the cows, and it was absolutely bloody amazing. But I'm like, look, let's so I'm like, you down to do a podcast? He's like, oh fuck, what do you mean? I'm like, bro, it's the most chillest, relaxed thing ever. let's just jump on and have a chat. Because look, I'm excited to chat, man, because I'm excited to hear a little bit more about your story, and also just from like a different, it's still sort of, early days, sort of building your business. You've done some amazing things, but I'm excited to dive into just a little bit of the reality behind, your story, and sort of get a bit, everyone just hears myself, speaking from our angle, but I'm excited to get a bit more of a raw sort of aspect from yourself, man. But look, massive welcome, man. And look, start off with just, give us a little bit of a backstory about, I guess, who's Nick, what sort of, give us a bit of a backstory of, who you are, a little bit about your story. And then and we'll sort of jump into it from there, man.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having us here today. So basically, I guess, sort of grew up around this sort of area, around the Gympie area and all that sort of thing, Sunshine Coast. So I've been around here pretty much my whole life. Dirt bikes has always been my thing. So, grew up racing, riding dirt bikes, all that sort of stuff. And then, joined the Defence Force after that. And I spent the best part of like the last 12 years just over in around Australia doing that sort of stuff, really like, and then sort of, which sort of led me into where I'm at now, right? Like basically just sort of was busy, always away, not really getting the space or the time to be actual, with the kids doing the things that we sort of enjoyed. So, that's when we sort of come across you guys as well. And then, as they say, the rest is history, I suppose. We've sort of just realised this is sort of the online business is the way for us to go and be able to live our life the way we want to be able to live it and achieve all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, we're absolutely loving it. What an awesome weekend we've just had, like, riding bikes out at this hip camp, bloody waking up Monday morning, beautiful views, having brews, and now I'm doing something I've never done before by jumping on a podcast. So
it's cool, man. It's once you just sort of experience it for a little bit yourself, it's like just. And we were talking about this yesterday of sort of like how it's kind of like how, and again, I want to touch more on your story there, but like just touching on that of like how we're sort of saying how people, we have the holidays, etc. It's like, how it's just like, how busy it's been. Like we've been laying a little bit low for the school holidays, but it's how everyone just has that, everyone's had that short little taste of freedom, which, this is what happens at Christmas time, a little bit of a break and all that sort of stuff. And people sort of, they get a taste of that freedom. You don't have to get up on Monday. It's kind of like that feeling you're having on a weekend, but like for the whole week. But they're like, it's such short lived. And we'll say, and it's really interesting to hear like people's mentality around that. Like they're a completely different person. It's like, oh, like nothing really matters. It's like a little bit of time off. And then it's like, boom, hits them. It's like, fuck, back to reality. And then most people, they just accept that for the rest of the year. Wait till next year for that short little break again, and people just back into those fucking shitty habits, everything, and that's just the fucking cycle that the most people in. But it's like, yeah, it's just crazy to like sort of chat about the mentality around that. But like, what were a couple of things that really sort of what were a couple like the main reasons, pain points, if you want to call it, that I guess sort of made you again sort of start looking into the online space? Like, was it more that just again, missing out the time with the kids? Was it more like, gives me even more of a what that sort of looked like of what was going through your mind of like made you start looking down this path?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, so both my kids, like we've got 5 and a 9-year-old now, and pretty much was in defence for 12 years. So pretty much their whole life I was sort of in and out sort of thing. And then mind you, I learnt so much from that sort of career, and I've benefited a lot of ways from all the stuff that I've learnt through defence. And basically for myself, what I sort of do is I try and apply that same sort of mindset that I sort of developed through there, and try and apply it to my business. You know, all that sort of stuff that I've learned, and I sort of just thought like, you know, I want to do something for myself. Discharged from Defence Force last year. I was like, I don't want to go back working for someone else. I've always wanted to run my own business. So yeah, that's when we just decided, let's just shift targets to what we are, and you know, put that same mindset, same energy into building something of ourselves. So.
And what were a few of the mindset, like what were some of the mindset shifts like you'd learned from the defense? Like what's some of those things in particular you've like brought across to your own business?
Yeah, definitely. Like, you know, like as we sort of spoke like 12 months ago, I really wouldn't, you would have been hard pressed to drag me in here to jump in front of this camera, but here we are. So yeah, even in Defence Force, like there's public speaking and all sort of stuff, you always sort of brief in that sort of things. But, you know, yeah, more so around that, yeah, that mental aspect, just being adaptable, being a problem solver, like obviously being an entrepreneur and all that sort of stuff. The job that I was in there, you're a problem solver, different problem set, but however, you're still a problem solver. And, you know, just always trying to be proactive and helping people achieve, you know, their goals and whatnot, or solve their problems that they come to you with was what probably is the most satisfying thing within the business, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I sort of didn't really think of that around that, but it's like, I guess you can sort of, it comes down to, again, you can have that same sort of mindset, mentality, everything, helping people, all that sort of stuff. But I guess when you really think about it, it's kind of like the thing that was missing was kind of like, I guess, the model that it's going into. And this is where, like, again, we'll chat this morning again about a couple of, you know, friends we've got that are in brick and mortar businesses, everything, you know, successful, but it's just like, they have no fucking time. They're tied to like the location. It's like the stress. And like, this is when it really sort of comes to like, I guess, whether it's a fulfilling purpose thing, but this, I think that's kind of where like it, you know, the money, even if you're earning really good money, but if you feel like you're trapped from like your freedom, everything, like personal growth, like I said, it's been really cool to see your journey. Like, again, just getting out of your comfort zone, everything. And it's crazy how much people can get like shit themselves when it comes to like speaking in front of a camera or something like that. But like, then they said it's like you were doing like in person, again, briefings, everything at the defense. And I wonder if it just comes down to like sort of what you're, you know, comfortable with, I guess, of what you sort of do over and over. But it's like, yeah, I think it's actually nearly easier. It's like speaking in front of a fucking camera rather than like speaking to people in person. But it's really funny how we have that aspect around it. But like, again, what's been did you sort of look into any other businesses or try anything else? Like when you sort of went down, you know, the online space sort of side, like did you sort of do anything else before you ended up here, or?
Yeah, I sort of had a bit of a double. And when you say double, like I started an e-com landing page and sold 2 or 3 items, and that was about it, and realized that just, this wasn't the way. And, you know, it just didn't feel right for me either. You know, it wasn't sort of aligning with what we were trying to achieve.
Yeah. Dabbling's a very big word, and what a lot of people do. It's like, I've had conversations like, oh, I've tried everything. It's like, well, what'd you try? How long did you give it 100%? Like, how long did you do it for? And yeah, people just, I think that's probably the biggest problem I see today is people like, they're just like, oh, I'll try this, or I'll dabble in this, dabble in that. But like, when it comes down to it, like it's a business. Like everything, even if it's e-com, drop shipping, whatever you want to look at, like it's still just, it is a business that requires all the things. But then, like you said, again, we're chatting about it this morning. It's like, when you look at that, like it's, you know, you've got to sell, you know, thousands of items to make any sort of money that's decent. And it's, you know, there's quite a fair bit around it. And like you said, then you sort of really, you can sort of be tied to that hustle culture a little bit as well. But what's been a couple of struggles? Like we can talk about all the sexy shit all day, but like what was like did you have any fears before you sort of went down this avenue? Like was there anything sort of, you know, like anything that sort of was hold you back or you're afraid of, anything like that, or?
Yeah, for sure. Like obviously, like I know a lot of people sort of same sort of thing. Fear of like what your coworkers would think, what your family, what your friends would think. You know, what they'd sort of be saying about it's basically just all that self-imposed pressure that you put yourself onto. At the end of the day, no one is actually, you know, really watching and really care what you get up to. At the end of the day, does it really matter? No, it's your life. So, you know, do what you want to do. But yeah, definitely around that was, you know, the biggest stigma would have been like when leaving defence and then, you know, going and being on social media and all that sort of stuff. So, But yeah, once you drop that and know that, people don't care, get on.
Because did any of that actually happen?
No, and exactly
Really?
right. Like, it was just something that I was making up in my own damn head that, like, I was like, oh, they're all watching me and thinking, oh, what a wanker he is now, whatever. And, but yeah, no, it's really not the reality of it at all. So
It's crazy because that's the number one thing. Like I said, it's because it's sort of something different, and it's like you sort of like it's that self-imposter syndrome, really, of just like comparing yourself to again what you used to do for so long, what everyone knows Nick for. Then it's like, oh, people are gonna think all this, and this, and then like a lot of the cases they actually don't, and it's like imagine if like this is the thing where like, a lot of people won't go and do the thing they want to do because they'll have that like fear and scarcity and that mindset around it. Then like it's like, well, what if it doesn't fucking happen? What if that never actually happened and you went and did the thing? And like that's a great story. It's like how people just literally self-fuck themselves and they just stay stuck of all these fears. And like that's such a cool story. And look, I'm not saying it's always the case. Like sometimes people do get backlash. Friends will have little jabs or little bits and pieces, but like fuck man, you've seen it. Like, you as you go on this journey, you start to meet different people, better people that want to see you win. Like your whole sort of circle can change. It can really sort of come down to like you can sort of just like accept yourself as like the reality you've always had of like your friend circles and everything and work colleagues. Like it's really crazy. You can just like adapt that I guess like adapt that just identity on yourself, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
But like, what's sort of been like? Again, I know for yourself, like you never really you had put the odd like motorbike shot or something up on social media, but like obviously, like you said, like you'd never like really posted content, spoke on your story, none of. And look, I'll be honest, like when I we're at a campsite the other day, actually, when I actually had a call and met you for the first time at the same campsite just the other day, and like I remember sort of how like sort of. Wouldn't say shy, but like obviously like quiet sort of guy, quiet. But like it's been so cool to see that, like it's good to see he's fucking mic up. He's getting nervous.
It's first time I've been on one of these things.
But like but it's just been so cool to see like that, like your confidence, like you just change as a person. Like it's been, I don't know, it's been over a year now. But like give us walk us through that a little bit of like obviously you were nervous, sort of scared to do it, but like what's been the positives of putting yourself out there, starting your business, posting on social media, I guess more in your personal life, I guess business wise as well, like, but what's been some positives, what's come from that?
Yeah, absolutely. So putting yourself out there and doing all that sort of stuff that you're completely uncomfortable with just gives you that much more confidence, right? Like in every aspect of your life. Like, for instance, just something simple as talking on your stories or whatever that, to start with, you're super scared of that. Same old thing. What are people going to think? What am I going to say? Is people just think I'm just rambling on. Is what I'm saying actually going to give? I'm still messing with this thing. Am I giving anyone some value, and is anyone, going to listen to it or whatever? But you just keep doing it. You get more confidence, and then it's that the confidence in yourself, and it just becomes like addictive. In a way, is the word I'm going to use. It's just, the more you get more confident, and the better your life starts to become. You watch the others around yourself, and like for me, that reflection is in my kids straight away. Of like, I'm always trying to like self-development, trying to improve in the business. Be more confident, and then I just see that just come straight out in them, right?
Wow.
Like if I hit a slump and I'm like, around Christmas time, eating whatever, doing whatever, and then not really training, having a bit of time off, and then it reflects, right? Like, and then a couple of days after Christmas, like basically I got back into the training. Kids hadn't really been wanting to go train or do anything, and they're out there with me, so I was like, just a reflection of like. That's just a habit that I sort of have with that. But the same with the confidence is sort of where I sort of always see it as well, and those around you as well in your circle.
Yeah, that's fucking powerful. And I think like, I haven't got children, so I can't relate to that. But like, obviously like, we always grow up, telling our kids like, oh, you can be anything, you can do anything. And like all these big dreams. But like most parents are, again, like you said, it's like just such a small, small mind won't open their mind up to anything, won't do any new challenges, and a lot of parents and people just fucking settle. Like I said, it's like, oh, this is just the way it is, and as soon as it comes to making a change, like what if, and doesn't do it, but then like we kind of say to our kids, you can be anything, you can be a fairy, you can be a superhero, you can be all this shit, but it's like, well, mum and dad generally aren't doing fuck all of their lives, but then like, and that's going to be a reflection of their mindset, their mentality, how much they're going to challenge themselves. And I think that's more important than anything these days, is just like the parents being the role model and just showing what's possible, where most just sort of just settle in this, and we're going into tough times. And like, so imagine the next, 10, 15 years, once, their children have grown up with a kind of, I don't know, what do you call it? A weaker mindset. Like you have to fucking challenge yourself. You have to put yourself out there, especially when it comes to getting your first job. That's the most scariest thing ever, to put yourself out there and get into the workforce and all this sort of stuff. So that's powerful, because then they're always watching. You're just a reflection of making what's possible there. So that's fucking so good. And so I just think like the people you meet from just like going on this journey as well. Like again, another big thing about people are afraid to put themselves out there on social media. Like we're saying, it's like, I think it's so much more scary doing that in person. But when I was really looking back at say, it's like, even how I've ended up here, it's like, this is from us both putting ourselves out there. We just had the epic weekend and here we are now. And like a lot of our closest friends now as well, it's all people we've met from putting ourselves out there. Pretty much all the main people in our lives from now is from that. And when you sort of think about it, it's like people can sort of, I think we're in a world now where like people are going to completely fuck their life with social media, or they'll use it as the way it should be used, to put yourself out there, to create content, to build a business, to build a whatever around it. And like, just you think about the old way of like networking in person, building businesses, in person way. It's like social media is really just like an amplified version of that, where it's like, it's free, it's unlimited fucking reach. You can just be Nick Beattie and go on your journey, just like you would at a hometown, and you might meet some people that are sort of like-minded, saying one or two people, whatever. But like, you're just literally doing that online, amplified, so you can like find bulk of your people, share your journey at fucking scale for free. Like, this is where it's so powerful. You just make friends with people, help people, fucking build together. Like, people are out there looking for that, which is, we can talk about the negatives all day and the fear, but like, there's so many fucking positives to it.
Yeah, 100%.
But what's goals for you for this year? Like, what's some challenges you've set for yourself? Like, what sort of, get some personal sort of goals for you this year to sort of to step it up a next level for yourself?
Yep. Yeah, well, I guess the next one that we sort of got coming up, as you probably already read, was sort of spoke about over the weekend, but the run that I'm going to do. So that's like a physical, obviously, goal, and well, not just a physical goal, but something mentally challenging that's sort of going to require some effort to do. So I've sort of, off the back of the 65-day sprint challenge you guys are running, like just keeping that. It was just the perfect time. I feel that like we were already in the sprint, like 2 weeks in, and I decided that I was going to do this run. So yeah, that's sort of the next challenge in the way of that. But obviously, just
that's an 88K run, isn't it?
Yeah, 88Ks.
Not just a run.
So that should be good. Try and just get all that done in one day, I suppose. Like, I don't really have a set time frame. It's more about just the mindset, training for it, and then just going and doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that challenge, and then obviously just continue to keep growing our business, help as many people as we can this year, and just feeling good always, basically, and just doing the stuff that we truly enjoy all year.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious to hear your aspect, because people always hear, because we always talk about like what we see in people's mentality, mindset, what holds people back, what's sort of the difference between people that make things work, what doesn't work. And again, we sort of do that based on, again, years and years and years of, thousands of conversations. But like, I'm interested to hear your side of it after you've talked to a lot of people, you've helped people, get started, build a business, and like you've seen, you've been told no a lot of times, like you've seen both sides of it. But like, what would you sort of say if you were to put it down to a couple of things of like, of what holds people back? It could be, blokes sort of your age, it could be couples, singles, whatever. Like, what do you sort of see the people, because you've seen a lot of people that are in different trades and everything, sort of similar to the sort of background you're in as well, but like, they really want the change, but then like they don't. Like, what's a couple of things, if you could put it down to, like what do you sort of think that holds most people back when you can tell they have that, they fucking want it, but like what's the sort of a couple of key things that you've seen that hold people back?
Yeah. I don't know, this might be a bit blunt, but I'll just straight out.
You can say whatever the fuck you want in here, man.
Yeah, people just don't trust themselves or back themselves. They don't just have the confidence to back themselves. Like, you know, some of the people that I've had, they're like super keen, all that sort of stuff. That, to me, I feel like, well, personally, if I look back at my start, it was like, that's not me as a person. You know, so I didn't back myself in the early stages to be like, I started, obviously. You got to get started somehow, so you do have to take that leap and you do have to back yourself. But, yeah, I don't know. It's sort of, if I could just sort of summarize it in one sort of thing like that, it'd be just back yourself, and people sort of second guessing that decision, I suppose. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, you know, it's like everyone wants to make the change. Like, it sounds fucking great to everyone. Like, it sounds great, but I think sometimes you can sort of overcommit too. Like you said, it's like, it's sort of like, it's like starting's just the first piece. Like, you can start and then just do nothing. But like, when you say back yourself, like, I guess that's more around, you know, to like yourself. It's like, yeah, like it's to learn a new skill set. It's to learn how to grow. It's to learn to like run towards the fears, get uncomfortable. I think that's where, again, people aren't like, they want the results, but like they're not willing to back themselves with that. Doesn't mean when you back yourself, doesn't mean you have to work 12 hours a day. It's just like, you trust yourself. It's like, fuck, like, do you want to grow? Do you want to expand? Do you want to learn a new skill set? And again, and like I said before, it's nothing on the career path or anything that you're in. It's just like, well, hang on. Like, when I sit down and really think about what I want, it's like, the model just doesn't, it's like, it just doesn't line up. It's like myself. I didn't hate what I did. I'd love to being a massage therapist. I loved helping people, but I'm like, well, if I work forever in this, it's like, you do the numbers in your head. It's like, well, I'm capped at this. It's like, well, for me to make this, I need to do 20 clients a day, which is fucking impossible. So like, you just have that ceiling, and and it's like, well, that's my reality. That's it. And I guess it's the same with, like, you know, through defense. I'm sure it just works on like wages and stuff, doesn't it? I guess you sort of have your number of what you've got. And it's like, well, for one more time, the kids, I want this, and I want to get ahead and do extra. And it's like, well, then it's more time, less freedom. But like, I guess you talk to a lot of blokes, you know, I guess in similar things. Like, what are people wanting more of that you've spoken to? Like, what are people wanting more of? What are they craving?
It summarizes, it's just pretty much time, right? Like, you know, they're sick of being away. Sure, they're earning a good wage and all that sort of stuff, but it's just time. They just start craving time with their family and being able to do the things that they enjoy.
Yeah, and it's the number one thing we say. It's so valuable, but it's the number one thing we'll usually just fucking, I mean, not take for granted. Or sometimes take for granted, but not fucking prioritize. Like, you know, you've seen some people's, you know, shitty habits and whatever, and again, like you said, your phone. People like, time is everything, but like, we'll just waste it on our fucking phone, and people aren't even present. That's a whole nother podcast there. But like, but like, I think, like, where do you sort of see, you know, like, I guess, like, the online space sort of going, like, you know, and again, with our business, with the Nagic, like, it was around before the internet. So like, I think the thing that kind of pisses me off a little bit is like, because when people categorize online, like, a Nagic isn't an online marketing business. Like, it was literally, what we've done is literally like coupled a like 51-year-old proven Japanese business model and products with medical certifications behind it, and then coupled it with, I guess, new age, social media, you know, ads, content, all that sort of stuff. So like, that's why I just think it's just like the ultimate fucking combo, and nothing comes close to it. But like, where do you sort of see the whole, you know, like, again, there's obviously the interest, and it's such early days, but like, where do you sort of see it being in the next, you know, 5-10 years? Like, can you sort of see, you know, it being a thing where, you know, like, just normal blokes are finally going to see the light and be like, well, fuck, this is the key. This is the ticket to chase what I want. But like, where can you sort of, do you think it's still sort of early days? Where can you sort of see it going from your, you know, you're only, you know, quite new to it too, but like, where do you sort of see it going?
Yeah. Look, I think just the way of like the cost of living for everyone. I think a lot of people are going to be forced into like either creating a side business to start with to supplement their main income, or you know, something like that. But geez, 5-10 years, like, I mean, it's more and more people are going to get involved in it, right? Like, so, you know, a lot of the people that I sort of speak to now, they can be quite young, right? Like some of them sort of coming in real young, like 16, 17, obviously not old enough to get started within our business, but they're already seeing the light that it's like, man, I'm 2 years into an apprenticeship I left in when I was 14 or something, and it's like, I could see these guys that are like 50s still busting their ass, like lifting bricks or, you know, putting houses together, whatever it is. And I don't want to be like that. So I think that that younger generation coming through now, obviously there's always a lot of hype and sort of stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think it's just a bit of a shift. I feel like there is a shift coming with that. So, you know, I think that there is going to be more, like, especially sort of the younger sort of people coming through, younger generation coming through now. I feel like there'll be more, you know.
I remember when I was 16, 17, I was like, if there's a way that I could just figure out how to make $1,000 a week, I was doing my head, like, back then, like, if you earned 50 grand a year, that was like balling. Like, it was, I'm like, fuck, $1,000 a week. I'm like, if I could just figure out a way to do that, like, life will be good. I remember when I was a postie delivering mail, me and my mate I used to work with, we used to had to work like fucking Saturday and Sunday, and for us to like clear $1,000 a week, we did it a couple of times. We're like, yes, but then we're like, fuck, that was hard. Like, there's no way I'm doing that again next week. Like, I had to bust our ass for it. But like, it's even interesting for people to say, it's like I have conversations with people in the mines and that, and they might be on, you know, 150 grand a year, someone too, like, oh, I'm on great money. But when you dive deep into it, it's like, well, like, what the fuck's good money these days? Like, I think like, even like, again, 100 grand a year, 6 figures, whatever you want to call it, like that would usually be like raking it in, but fuck.
Yeah.
Like, and it ain't going back. Like, it ain't gonna go. I think people assume that like just one day fuel's gonna go back to $1, groceries will back off, like,
interest rates will go down, all that sort of
it
thing.
ain't ever going to happen. It's just going to keep going up. And like I said, that's just why I just put the urgency on people. It's just like, and you know, for most people, it just hasn't hurt enough yet. It really hasn't. But like, fuck, like, it's, yeah, I just want you to see that and like, you know, see where it's going and like just see what your reality is. And everyone can be scared to go and dream or whatever. But it's like, fuck, you just go put yourself, you know, 20, 30 years ahead of like, if you just amplified what your life looks like now, don't do nothing, have less money, have less choices, have less freedom, have less health, and God, just go live like an hour of that day, 20, 30 years ahead. And you'd be like, all right, that's not what I fucking want. Let's come back and get to work.
Yeah, 100%.
But look, man, is there anything you sort of want to finish off with? Anything you want to say? Anything you sort of want to, I guess, you know, say to anyone that's sort of maybe like on the fence, thinking about it, just like yourself, fucking scared? What are people going to think? Like, is there anything you could sort of say to those people to sign off with?
Just like I said earlier, just back yourself, make a decision, and you know, you got to be willing to make the change yourself. And yeah, it's, you know, completely on you to make that decision.
Yeah, 100%. I love it, man. Well, look, was that as scary as what you thought, or?
No, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, as I said, he's like, what are we talking about? So I don't know, man. I just fucking wing it. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
I could have done a hit piece and just like smashed him with all these hard questions. And no, that's awesome, man. Look, thanks for coming on. It's been great, man. It's good to get a bit of a different aspect from someone a part of our community. Like I said, you're just like us, and people forget that we start with no experience and everything as well. So it's cool to see that, and it's been awesome to watch your journey, man. And like, yeah, you can just see the person you've become, man. It's mega inspiring to watch. And look, if you don't follow Nick, NKT Adventures on Instagram, give him a follow. Just follow his shit. Just support his run he's got coming up. And but yeah, thanks for coming on, man. And look,
Thanks
and we will see you next week.
All right, cheers.